just the stress of playing a major, and unfortunately, I've only had a chance to win one of them, and was able to do it. But the other three, I didn't do very well.
From Tiger to the Tigers, their second half isn't starting out any better than the first, falling in their fifth straight game, this time to the Toronto Blue Jays at home 12-1. Jordan Zimmerman falls to 0-7 on the season with another short outing. He went just 3 2/3 innings, giving up 6 earned runs. Zach Reiniger giving up 4 runs in relief. Detroit bats were quiet as Marcus Stroman shut them out through 7 innings. Manager Ron Gardenhire beating himself up after the loss.
Like I said, mistakes made by people that are trying to get better and learning, and it's not from lack of work. The coaching staff works their tails off, but like I said, I'm the captain here, and it's under my watch, and right now I'm not very happy, so it's a tough night tonight. We'll come back tomorrow, and we'll try to do it all over again and be better.
That second game will play this evening at 6:10 p.m. right here on 97.1 The Ticket, with Daniel Norris taking the bump for the Tigers. From a ticket update desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, go to 971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me, the co-host, Harry Glantz, Sandra Carr.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside of me, John Kolb.
What's up, guys? How are you doing today?
All right, John. Great to have you here. Of course, we are sponsored by Capital Mortgage Funding and powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. You will find us all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And, John, you bring in some great guests, as always.
Oh, the lovely ladies of Stewart Real Estate Partners.
Good morning.
Jessica and Adrian. Adrian promises she's going to talk today.
Very talkative. I'm super good at it.
No, you're great. You know what? I was already stirring the pot outside, you know.
A little bit, yeah.
So we're gonna talk a lot about mortgages, real estate. Of course, we give you 1 hour, and we take your calls here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. Let me be the first one to say it here this morning without upsetting owner. Of course, Harry's not here, and I'll probably get reprimanded on Monday. There's some things going on out in real estate right now that's putting a lot of stress on a lot of families. And I'm going to circle back around and say, I feel like it's the lack of education and being upfront and honest with some people up front that's causing the grief. Yeah, I don't know. We're seeing it. Sure. We talked about it a little bit. Go ahead. Give me a little bit.
Just now, it's seeming like maybe it's just July. Maybe everyone was waiting for summer, and now that it's happened, everyone's just a little shaken up and turned upside down. But I completely agree with you. We had a conversation this morning that experience doesn't always equate out to education or vice versa. The amount of education that you have, the amount of credentials, the more experiences that myself and Adrian and our company can be a part of, that does allow us to grow and give back to our clients. We have always been upfront and honest at the get-go. I just had a consultation in the office yesterday, first-time home buyers. They were looking to rent, and now I'm having the conversations with them, and I said, you guys pave the way, but I am going to lead you. Anything that I see that is going to be an issue of financing or that isn't going to get you to the goal that you're sharing me with now, I am going to be upfront and honest with you. I'm going to hold you accountable to the things that you're telling me are your must-haves. And if we deviate from that, I'm going to reel you back in.
It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to keep it fun and exciting.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the whole part of it. There is stress involved. But if you aren't open and honest with your clients up front to say there's going to be bumps in the road, we're going to get through this. But if they do keep things from us, or they're trying to tread lightly to be polite, then we're gonna have issues. We're gonna have issues in the process, and it's that open line of communication that helps us get there.
Yeah. Oh, and you have to be open to learn too. Even as real estate agents, as mortgage professionals, we learn every single day. You know, Harvey's been doing this longer than I have, and my 23rd year anniversary is coming up at Capital. And every single day we learn something new.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to learn from that, or you're not going to be open to learning, then you're going to be stuck in a rut, and you're going to have those problems like you were talking about, Harv. And It's just crazy out there right now.
It should be a lot of fun to buy a house. I think sometimes, again, the emotions get carried away. Of course, 90% humidity plus is going to put a little more angst on people, and a little bit more the smaller problems or bigger problems. But at the end of the day, it's got to be a win-win situation. All parties have to be involved on the same page. Great communication. If you're an agent out there, let me just say that for a mortgage person, if you're not part of that, if you're not returning phone calls quickly, really quickly, if you're not answering questions quickly, I think you need to exit the industry, because the industry's got a lot of great professionals that are trying to make this happen for so many families. And if you're not part of that, I don't think it's the right industry for you.
I agree. And I think that, we are here, and folks like Adrian and I haven't been in the industry a fraction of the time that you guys have. I'm just shy of a decade. And I feel with every calendar year, there is so much more to learn. From my own cooperating agents in a transaction, as well as lenders, as well as title company. We were just having that conversation midweek, Adrian and I. And it's whether you've been in the industry a year or 35 years, that amount of experience doesn't necessarily equate to how well you can streamline a client from beginning to end. You do need everyone. I need folks like you to keep Adrian and I in line with things that are changing in the lending world. I don't know about those things, and I do rely on you guys. I stay in my lane of real estate. Absolutely. And I want to stay in my lane of real estate. Absolutely. Yep. But I do rely on you guys, and that is why we love working with you. It's why we love working with you, John, and why I do lean on you. I called you this week about an issue, a potential issue. It didn't get to an issue, but a potential issue of a client that is just going under contract.
Right. And that's the most important thing, right, is making sure that the lines of communication are open. Because once you go down a path that you can't go down, or that we're not allowed to go down, we can't take that back, right?
Right.
So I always tell clients, I'm like, look, I'm here to make mortgages work, not turn them away. Yes. So if you tell me what you want to do up front, I'll tell you the best way to do it, the right way to do it, so that the mortgage will be okay with it.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole thing. We always talk about this is the team, making sure you surround yourself by a good team, good real estate partners, good mortgage people, good title companies. And if you aren't all working together to get to that end goal for the client, then there's no reason to be doing this.
All right, lots of going on out there in the mortgage real estate world. Again, we'd like to hear from you this morning, 248-539-9797. We take all your calls, answer all those tough questions. Again, from the loan officer's perspective, John, rates are really, really good. The bond market recovered a little bit yesterday, but it's been a rough week out there. People are all out there talking about what's going on with the Fed meeting at the end of the month. We think it's already built in. Again, Fed funds rates are not a direct correlation to mortgage interest rates. Folks, if the Fed funds drops the rate, I wouldn't be surprised, John, since it happened the other way. When it went up, the rates went down. Right. Now when the Fed fund rate goes down, I bet rates will actually bump up a smidge.
Well, you're right. They already built it in.
Or the cost. Yeah, it's already built in.
So there's already that factor built in. So if what the Fed does is in line with what they've projected it to do, you probably won't see any movement at all on that given day or the day after. But if there's any deviation from what is projected, you'll start to see rates go up or down because of that deviation. Because you're right, it's already built in.
Yeah, we're looking
it happened weeks ago.
Yeah, and we're looking to lock in all our clients. Basically, anyone who's purchasing a house out there, if you're looking to refinance your house, if the mortgage people are calling you up and they have a lot of energy, like I might have sometimes, and I'm saying, hey, you got to hurry up and get me these things, and we want to lock this in, is because of these reasons. We want to maximize, if this little opportunity of refinancing is here, we want to get that extra eighth for you, that extra little bit of savings, $8 on $100,000 per eighth. So a lot of times that can add up quickly.
Oh, absolutely. The better the rate, the better experience, right?
And that's the conversation with agents. Like for Adrian and I, we need to know that, so that when we are talking to our clients, and if they're saying, hey, Jessica, hey, Adrian, what does this look like if we were to do a remodel on our house? They're sitting in a house that they've got equity in. They can grab this and they can benefit from it instead of making that move. If we've already had those conversations, they're coming to us. We're not finding anything that they're looking for. That is fantastic information for us as real estate agents to know. Again, why you need good folks like the two of you that are experienced, that are working not just part-time in their industry, but you actually day in and day out know what's going on, and we can supply that awesome information back to our clients.
This time of year is pretty interesting, too. Here we are about, actually, I can't believe it. So what is it, the 20th already? July 20th already. Would you believe it? So half the summer's already gone. So we are to that point, believe it or not. I hate this point because I want summer to last forever. Yeah. But before we know it, the kids will be going back to school. I think next week is extremely critical. It's sort of the time where the families out there who are looking for a house, they got to pull the trigger because they got to close in about 30 days.
Yep.
School starts, I think, here in Michigan the day after Labor Day this year, which is Tuesday the 4th or something like that.
Right.
Whatever it might be. But it's coming fast, and those families have to get their kids registered in the school district. So a lot of timing's involved, and a lot of families are selling their house and then buying a house, and then there's other people involved too. So it's all about timing and having this great team involved.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. What does, because it's the topic of the week, right? What does this weather do to showings or listings? Does it, because, in the dead of winter, we always talk about nobody wants to do anything in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Well, it's 98 and crazy hot out. Do people want to get in the car and go look at houses? What are you finding?
I've been seeing people wanting to get out there for the most part. And of course, these are all the homes that have no heat, or excuse me, no air. And I'm in the attic looking at this one spot that they desperately want me to check out for them. But for the most part, I think people have wanted to. It's a lot more one house at a time. Like I really would like to see this house. I'm not doing a whole lot of sets of showings at this point.
True. Very true.
I think people want to stay out and about.
So the heat's not going to completely kill them. We're going to talk about the heat when we come back. The heat is on. We got tons to share with you. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. $9:15. If you're just joining us, we want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Always a Capital Mortgage all week long. 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. And Chris, you want to throw out, you got 55 days until you're married?
Yes.
How many hours and minutes? Okay, you don't have it there.
I don't know that part, but I got to lose some weight, which good thing I'm on the radio. I got a definite body for radio. And but hey, I wanted to give a shout out to my best man whose birthday is today. Mr. Marks Elias from First American Title. If you've done a deal here in Southeast Michigan, you probably had him as a closer or helped you with title. So
cool.
He is a rock
good
star.
Man. Happy birthday, buddy.
There you go. And of course, we only allow that because it's First American Title. We'll throw them a little bit, right? Right. Good stuff. Hey, if you're looking at buying or selling a house, definitely give us a call here on the show. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear some angles and things that have happened recently. The bidding wars are still out there, but not like it's been. It's down to just like 12% of the transactions, down 52% from last year. Are you feeling that too, guys? Where last year it seemed like every house had multiple bids. This year, maybe a little bit slower on that. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been saying now for a little while that there's this huge shift in the market, and it's happening now. And everybody keeps thinking it's going to be like coming down the line. Right. And it's not a huge one. It's very subtle. But houses are going to be spending a little bit more time on market. You're also going to be seeing a lot more price adjustments. People are going to be still trying to push that envelope, but buyers are very savvy too. So even with low inventory, which we're still seeing, buyers are being very specific about what they want to buy. And again, that's something that when we go to our listing appointments, we are very clear on, that there might be an adjustment that has to be made because we bring the data. We don't just go off our feelings or how we think the market's going. We want to see how many people are coming through the door. How many showings do you have? What does the feedback say?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of times you'll show up to a house. I don't want to cut you off, Beck, but a lot of times you'll show up to a house, I'm guessing for a listing appointment, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, it's on the busiest street of the block. And it's on the main drag. And now it is a little bit of an obsolescence that could be a little problem for a buyer.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I get, I'll have people, Facebook message me or text me or call me and say, hey, I'm thinking about moving, not anytime soon, but I want to do A, B, and C to my house, and I think it's worth this. What do you think? And I'm like, I have to come and see the house because it's not until I get on the street, in the house, comparing it to what I'm seeing that has been sold that I can give you a really solid number on what we could list your house for.
Chris, we saw those unbelievable inventory supply and demand. That's always the thing. But they were picking up there in January. It was a little slower winter, and we saw some bad weather across here and maybe in the Midwest.
It was like the never-ending winter.
Exactly. The supply definitely was starting to build up, and now we're back down again.
We're way down.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Have you ever lied about how much you've lost?
Well, yeah.
And have you taken money from your wife to gamble?
Maybe I do have a problem.
I can help you.
If you think you may have a gambling problem, call the helpline at 1-800-270-7117. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Was your home on the market last year and it didn't sell? Mark Z here with EXP. What you need is a guarantee. Get the Z Guarantee, where if you list your home with me, we sit down, agree to a price and a deadline, and if your home isn't sold, I'll step up and buy it myself. I'm not bragging, I'm applying for the job.
Get the Z Guarantee. Call Mark Z. Call 844-SO-BUY-Z.
Today, noon till 2, 97.1 The Ticket Street Team will be at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa sale at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. Millions in inventory must be sold. You could save thousands at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa sale. Details at 971theticket.com.
Now available for download. Always Aggravated, a Mike Valenti signature podcast. Get it on radio.com and Apple iTunes.
97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host,
Welcome back to
Harvey
the
Freed,
show,
alongside
916.
me,
If you just joined us, it's already July 20, 2019. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, again brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can call us at the office all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. A lot of folks out there looking to take advantage of the great low rates out there, John. Refinancing, debt consolidation. We'll talk about refinancing and home purchasing and selling homes all morning long. Jess, there's so much going on out there, and Adrian, you guys make it fun. Again, I want to work with people like you, the honesty, you make it fun. And Jess, yes, I'm cracking up that it just, ironically, all the houses that you're looking at this week have no air condition on them.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It
that's
was,
a good selling
really
feature.
good luck streak that I had going for me.
Interesting, though. I mean, but in the industry, it's funny you brought it up. But yeah, there's no doubt. You need to know this kind of stuff. Like, well, folks, if there's a boiler, maybe you can't add air conditioning. We need to know the reasons why we can't add air conditioning to the house and things of that nature. It's funny that the weather conditions lead to so many questions in real estate that it'll just pop up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With all the rain that we had at the
Rain,
beginning,
right.
every buyer is worried about, is there going to be moisture in the house? Is there going to be water in the house? I'm like, this is great to be looking for a house. Any house, you're going to find out.
Have water in it.
There's always something going
matter
on.
of time.
Hey, we're going to take your calls all morning long. 248-539-9797. We bring in the two champions over there from Stewart Team Real Estate Partners. Of course, Kevin's
MIA.
Where is Kevin today?
He's in Oregon. Can you hear us?
Kevin's got some
us?
family stuff going on or something, but Jessica and Adrian doing a great job as always, giving us some good information.
Down the
Guys, I asked John this week, you guys moved into that new office in downtown Rochester.
Yeah, we're right on Main Street. Second floor of right on Main Street, 3rd and University. So great location.
That is
We
fun.
just did a big event over the weekend for pet adoption.
Yeah, we adopted, I think, 10 to 15 dogs out of the office between two companies.
Agencies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
What's going on with home prices right there? Of course, you're in the heat of it. Just a little bit north of you guys, we're seeing a lot of new construction's been picking up. But Rochester Hills has always been a great, great place to live. And of course, now they got the Stony Creek High School. So there's so much happening around there. What's going on as we're into that late summer? Are there some homes that haven't sold or still in the market that people can pick up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Depending on the price point that you're in, the closer that you get to downtown Rochester, they fly off the shelves. But anything in the market of, I'd say 3.25 and lower, you're looking at just a few days in market in Oakland Township, Washington, Shelby, Rochester Hills. Once you get into like the 500 plus range, they're sitting on market. Even if they are priced according to fair market value, they are sitting on the market a few weeks. That seems to be a little bit more accurate.
Where do typically the $500,000, these are bigger colonial homes typically, they're 4-bedroom plus and they usually have walkout basements and pools and they are nicer homes. They're a little bit more expensive. Where do most of the families that are selling those, where are they going to?
We're seeing a lot of move-ups in the Rochester, Oakland Township. So whether they're looking for a little bit more land, for the area where we are located, where our business is located, if you do go a little bit more north into Oakland Township, depending on where you're at, you can still draw from the Rochester School District, which is a huge draw, the amenities, the locations, the trails. But those lot sizes are getting a little bit bigger. In the new build communities that are now popping up, you're getting a little bit more square footage and the lot, where in some of the older subs, you got a lot more square footage, but you weren't getting that land.
Okay.
So that's been a huge win. That's what we're seeing with a lot of those move up clients.
Harv, with those $500,000, $600,000 homes, there's a bad theory out there that you have to have 20% down to buy these homes, and you don't. You don't. You can get in some cases with as little as 5% down on those homes. It may not be the mortgage that you stay in for life, but you can get into these homes with little down payment. 10% down all day long. You can get a great mortgage, no PMI on a 10% down home on a jumbo.
Yeah.
But we do have some 5% down programs. I think they rolled out a 3% down program for select clients the other day. So, people, don't be afraid to look at those homes if you want, and you don't have the down payment. But
yeah, that's a great point to make, John, because I know you've had a few conversations with some of my clients, and that has been the concern. Well, I don't feel quite comfortable yet because I don't have that 20% down. And you've talked to a few of my clients and given them some ratios and said, hey, this is what it looks like. And that's the key. Most of the clients, even if they think they know exactly what they want, trends tell us, averages tell us, you are not staying in this house for the next 20 years. So don't make that decision with your mortgage right now for the next 30 years. You can make changes to it. And it's, again, plugging in with people like you, John, that have the information available because you are in the industry day to day. You're working in the business. You have the information to tell our clients the best of the best that they can get into, the best type of mortgage, and in short order they can actually change their financial landscape in a few years.
The different down payment choices, exactly, John. So often, and I know when you guys are working with people, you'll look at one house and all of a sudden it changes because the location's exactly what they want, but it might need $50,000 to $100,000 to make it the way they want it. Now, you can step back. You can go with, instead of using all your money to put down in the house, you can go with the minimum down option, maybe a 5% down purchase, use those extra funds to make the house the way you like it, then come back a year or two, John, as the economy's definitely been pointing in the right direction.
I had two of those conversations this week. One guy was saying that he wanted to put $100,000 in, but he had $150,000 to put down on the house. He's like, "Can you lend me a home equity line of credit for the money that I need to put down?" I'm like, "Why would you do that? Why don't you just put 5 or 10% down?
Now you have the money.
Control your own money. You don't have to borrow it and pay on it." And you've got control of your own money. And the other person wanted to put 20% down, but didn't want to liquidate everything they had. And so we said, well, look at this 10% down option. Your PMI was $35 a month on a $250,000 mortgage because such good credit, 2 borrowers, good debt to income ratio, and $35 a month. She said, that's it? That's only $35 a month if I want to, and it keeps $25,000 in my pocket? I said, yes, that's.
Yeah, we see so much of that kind of stuff. Financial planning always comes in different ways. We might have grew up one way and our parents are telling us something. Culturally, there's some differences out there. But people, you grow, then you meet your love of your life, and they've got a whole different perspective on financial planning and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going out there that I think my generation sort of fell on their face. A lot of us did overbuy in the 2000s. So we were part of the problem. We're overspending, and we're seeing a little bit of that now. I can't believe it's already been 10 years since 2009. I don't know where the last decade went. But a lot of us still, be careful out there. Again, we don't see like the housing debacle like we had the 10 years ago. And the reason why, John, is they don't have these crazy subprime loans out there anymore. But we have great, right now the economy's strong, so job growth is strong. It was the perfect storm that caused people to walk away from the house. They took all the equity out of their houses. They were sort of paying themselves out of their own equity out of their house. Not a good recipe when values drop.
Well, yeah, and it's a combination of everything, right? You can't blame it just on the subprime loans because there's obviously people that wanted to get into those loans or got into those loans without questioning it.
Right.
But the underwriting standards now are so much greater, and the evaluation of the home standards are so much greater, and that's going to help to keep the economy stable so that we don't have those issues. I have conversations all the time. It's like, look, I don't want to, go through your financials like I do. If I could do this a little bit easier, it would be easier on me and I could get you closer. This is not John Kolb's mortgage laws. It's part of making sure we know where the money's coming from and we know what we're doing. because that's the hardest part of our job is tracking assets mostly, and in the verification of income and employment and making sure things don't change right before closing with credit refreshes, and verbal verification of employment. So yeah, it's good. We're in a good spot right now. As hard as it is, it's a good way to make sure that if you're lending somebody a couple $100,000, you're making sure that they can pay it back.
And people out there have to have, sort of be prepared for a financial emergency, whether it be your house has a financial emergency, your car, your health. Most people are equipped to handle it. But again, if you ask some folks, hey, if you were hit with another $300 a month expense, you might be in deep trouble out there. So maybe understand now that if things are good, put away a little bit extra this summer, save a little bit. I try to do it each and every day, by not maybe grabbing that extra coffee at those fancy coffee shops or maybe not going out even tonight. Maybe it's gorgeous enough where I can walk to a downtown and have a smaller meal or something. But just by saving a little bit and put that rainy day money away, a little reminder out there for all the folks that are purchasing homes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Keep the money in your pocket. All right. It's 9:25. If you're listening, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be back with all your calls. 248-539-9797.
The Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me, co-host, Harry Glanz.
All right, welcome back to the show. 9:31. If you're just joining us on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 19th and a half year doing this show. Love to have you call in. 248-539.
50.
248-539-9797.
Becky on the guitar.
Yeah,
that was sweet.
if you're watching on Facebook Live, you just missed the best air guitar by Christine.
Strong like that.
Absolutely, really strong.
Yes.
Axel should worry.
Watch
lot
out,
of them.
Slash.
Get my top hat.
Hey, we got Lamont calling in from Detroit. Good morning, Lamont. If you're there, you are. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Lamont. How are you?
My question is, I have a home. I paid $35,000 for it. I'm about 10 into it now, and someone has inquired about buying. I guess it's a broker or whatever, and he said maybe like around 65, something like that. But he keeps talking about cash. So I know you're not gonna walk in the house with a suitcase full of money. So how does that work? And also, I'm thinking I need to get this house appraised now too. So
all right, it's a good call. We are definitely, let's answer these questions in order, sort of a little bit. Well, the first thing, did you guys want to dive in on it, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the lead on this. So, Lamont, the first thing is yes. I'm just curious. Did you approach this person? Are you looking to sell your house, or they came to you?
You know what? He knew when I bought my home, the date, and what I paid and everything. I was going to ask you that too. How did he know that?
Well, it's recorded information, so they're able to pick up that information. Yeah, you just get it off at the county, so you can find out all the information. You don't live in the house? It's not your primary residence?
No.
Okay, so you want to sell it as rental. So my question to you is, are you ready to take the money and run? And have you met your CPA or financial planner to discuss about that money and what taxes you might have to pay on it?
I don't have I bought two homes. I'm renting one out, and I don't have a clue about.
So that's, and again,
right, so
as much as I want to dive into mortgages and all that and talk to you about that stuff, but yeah, we can do in here. I'll let you dive.
Yeah,
you want to dive in?
Number one, if you want to get that house appraised, you can go ahead and we can set you up with an appraiser, and you want to get an independent opinion of what the market value of that house is. Now, what they do is they take the homes closest to your property that have sold most recently, compare it to your house, and they do a bona fide appraisal. A licensed, certified, independent appraiser is going to do that. We could set that up for you. It costs you between, say, $300 and $500 to do that. Then, when that guy, you could walk in, and then you're going to live with those results. I mean, if it comes in at 65, 70, 55, whatever the number is.
Whoa. What do you mean he's going to live with those results?
What do you mean?
Talk to me,
let me
baby.
explain.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get a number on which to start with before somebody walks into the house with a box of cash, right? So you want to know what that house is worth, because you're going to base it upon houses that have sold in the neighborhood, all right? Now, if you want to put it on the market for higher, you want to sell it to them for higher, that's up to you too. But at least you're going to have an idea of what that house is going to appraise for.
Now, what kind of taxes do I pay? Like that tax you meant were like $3,000 with the cash transaction. Do I have to pay? And another thing, is he really going to come with cash, or do I have to?
Well, no. You got to go. No. They go to a title company, and you got to bring a check. He can deposit his money. So
transfer.
You got a lot of interesting things going on here, and we'll probably talk off the air later today. But let's just say, and I didn't want to interrupt here. Well, actually, I did on that one a little bit here. But if the appraisal comes in at $50,000, so you have a licensed Michigan State appraiser tells you, hey, the neighborhood sells for $50,000. Yeah, you don't have to sell for that. If the guy's offering you $65,000 and you want to put a formal purchase agreement agreement together. Look, Lamont, this is a big transaction for someone who doesn't know and has never done this before. Chris Dayton, I'm looking at you. You want to jump?
At Orchard Lake St. Mary's Prep, our students follow in the footsteps that Edgar Rice Burroughs, St. John Paul the Great, and dozens of professional athletes have walked for 135 years. Orchard Lake St. Mary's is a highly ranked high school that develops young men into strong, faithful leaders, proud of our past and ready for the future. St. Mary's offers a personalized 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio and championship athletics on the shores of Orchard Lake in the heart of Oakland County. To discover what education of the mind and soul can mean for your son, or to schedule a private tour, go to stmarysprep.com.
Whether it's a job interview or a first date, Lady Jane's in Washington Township will make sure you look great for whatever is on your plate. Get a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment for just $14. Lady Jane's on Van Dyke, just off the 26th mile across from Target. It's wicked awesome.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by the LaFontaine Automotive Group, the family deal.
97.1 The Ticket. Good morning, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host,
Welcome back to the show, 931, Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 19th and a half year giving you the show. Hopefully you'll give us a call there at Capital Mortgage Funding. Get that real approval letter. That's what you need, a real approval letter. That way your real estate agent will be so happy to hear that you're working with Capital Mortgage Funding. And John, these transactions close 3 to 4 weeks when people are prepared and pre-approved.
We're getting one closed in 8 days. It's the first time the fastest loan I've ever closed. But everything.
A purchase.
A purchase.
Oh, okay.
So he comes to us on Tuesday of this week, and he's found a house, and it is the redemption period in the
one of those,
is ending on the 24th. So we have. I'm sorry, he came to us on Monday, so we have till this Tuesday to get it closed because Wednesday the bank gets it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, well, this has got like a 10% chance of all stars and moons lining up, but
it's going to happen.
Hey,
That's awesome.
we said right from the beginning, do not give an EMD because we don't want to have to track the casting of an EMD.
Exactly.
Yep. He had all the cash in the bank. He's a salaried employee. We ordered everything on a super rush, and it's going to get done. Now that is not going to happen every single time, but
it's funny.
I'm super happy it's because it's one of those. We got it done.
Well, it's a great point too. No EMD needed, right? Talk about professionalism. Most people wouldn't even understand why an earnest money deposit's not needed because if there's no deal after 10 days, anyways,
right.
No one's getting the house,
right.
And it wouldn't even have time officially to to do the 7 to 10 day home inspection. Right, the time would just elapse.
He got an inspection done.
Good, he got it quickly.
Same day. Yep, same day. We got the appraisal done
incredible.
The next day. I know, right?
That is everybody working together. That is incredible.
Like I said, stars and moons lined for this kid.
Well, obviously,
it's his first house, so he's so happy.
Oh my gosh.
that's cool. Obviously, he's probably getting a pretty good deal if it was in foreclosure. I'm guessing, or market conditions. We don't know yet.
It had a couple, about $5,000 in equity based upon the appraisal. But
okay,
it's
nice.
It's decent.
Well, which leads me to my next question, which is always the credit topic. Because if you want to be able to purchase a house and you want to be able to pull the trigger quickly, you better have good credit. Because if you don't have good credit, we don't even have time to get that credit fixed up. So very important. A lot of the folks out there have been cleaning up their credit. U.S. Mortgage has taken out in the first quarter. The people in the first quarter had, over 650 credit score. And most people had, 75% of the people had over 650 credit score. And a lot of the folks, another 10% or so at least had over 700 credit score. So again, find out what your credit score is, but it's just not the credit score, John, because we have to find out other things like your past history, bankruptcies, foreclosures. Do you owe the IRS money? That's one of the things that I spoke to some of the people that help families get paid off through the IRS and stuff. If you work out a payment plan with the IRS and you have it in writing, you've given them one payment, you have a payment plan intact, and you're able to proceed and go ahead and purchase a house.
Yeah, it's just like a car loan, right? At that point, right? We just have to qualify you with the IRS debt and show that you're making your payments on time.
Yeah, if you haven't paid, definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll get you set up with the right people. I know I got a couple different businesses around town here that really help people, and I've spoke to so many, $25,000 to $50,000 in back taxes. They negotiate that, get it down to 10, 15, something very reasonable. We've seen them even lower, but then they're able to send $150, $250 a month. Like you said, John, it turns into a debt, but manageable, and you're able now to buy a house and move forward. And I'll tell you, John, so many families have equity in their house. If you bought a house in 2009, overall stats say that your home value has gone up 50%.
Oh yeah, and the good thing about what's going on right now is that houses are. I got to knock on some wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Houses are appraising, and it seems like people are really doing a nice job of making sure that they put the house on the market for the right price without any real huge hiccups. We got here and there they come in a little bit low, but nothing you can't manage.
Right.
And it's nice to see that because it just makes the process a lot smoother and makes everybody have a better and more enjoyable. And it's just working with good people makes it fun. Again.
Little buyer beware.
There was a time that it wasn't so fun. Right?
Little buyer beware out there too, because we're fortunate enough to have the show on here, and families give us a call throughout the week at Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE. Got a couple interesting calls and emails this week out of any of them, and one of them was a gentleman who had actually chosen to work with an out-of-state lender. He got himself all jammed up, and it started with calling those stupid sites. Again, folks, we have some of the best mortgage banks in the United States right here in Michigan, and we're more honest, I think. I think Michiganders are more honest and looking out for each other versus some stranger in one of the other 49 states.
I've got family all across the country, right? And my brother, my sister, they all say that the work ethic out of the Midwest, Michigan, and the Midwest area is by far better than the rest of the country. I mean, down south it's a little bit slower. Out west it's a little bit more laid back. Yep. So yeah, we have a better work ethic in this area is my belief.
I'm not stereotyping, but I'll just go ahead and get on that bandwagon. Yeah, we got some hardworking folks here. Don't think you're going to pick up the phone. You're calling a complete stranger in one of these many sites through another third-party lending site. Oh yeah, let me just tell you, folks. After I've been doing this almost 29 years, another one I had to check off the box again. Another guy who called one of those sites and is completely getting ripped off. Okay. Not only ripped off, the service is horrible. Ripped off. He doesn't have his purchase agreement. He's trying to buy a house for sale by owner. They have no clue of what they're doing.
Gosh.
And I just experienced it with them the other day, and I shrugged my shoulders. I said, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. I guarantee his agent didn't crawl through an attic with no air conditioning.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone else should have been speaking up there too if they had an agent representing them. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, a little reminder out there, if you're working on your credit too, find out why you're working on your credit by calling Capital, because one of the greatest programs we have here is the MSHDA program, down payment assistance. That's right. For a lot of the families out there just starting, there are income limits on it, but it's just under $71,000 for just a family of two. And John, if your credit score is 640 or more, you qualify for $7,500 down payment assistance. Yep. It's a quiet second mortgage. That's the money you need to purchase the house.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of caveats to that program, right? You can't make too much money. So you have to stay within a certain ratio. So you have to fit in that small box to be able to do it, but it's a great program if you do. And we've got a couple. We're trying one right now, right, Adrian?
Yes, we are.
I like them. I
texted the client yesterday. Yeah. I said, "All right, this is going to be really tight, but we're going to try it." And he's happy. He's happy as could be.
He's super happy. Yeah. He's had nothing but good things to say about you guys.
There you go. A couple extra forms to sign. You sign the affidavit one. We got that notarized. And a couple
it's
things.
Easy as that, Harf. No problem at all.
A couple extra things.
Just sign here and you're done.
Yeah.
Your bag of money's in the corner for you.
Perfect.
See you in 30 days. 248-539-9797. Love to hear from you here live on the Mortgage Show. Again, we bring in Stewart Team Real Estate Partners, Jessica and Adrian, talk a little bit about buying and selling houses right now. Tell me, guys, who do you seem like you're working with mostly lately? Is this generally first-time home buyers? Are you getting mostly that? Or are these families that you might have sold a house to 3 years ago and now they're coming back ready to take their equity and buy another one?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think between I'll speak for myself. Yeah. I'm getting a lot more of that it's 2 or 3 years, 5 years. They're in a property. They've got a substantial amount of equity in short order, and they are doing that move up. And it's not massive move up, but it's a bit of a tweak in location. School district. Now they've got a growing family that they're all in schools. They want to stay in this school district, or they need a little bit more square footage. They need that extra room, that extra bedroom. That's where majority of my buyer wheelhouse, we are getting a lot more first-time home buyers. I will say in the last 45 days, would you say, Adrian?
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm mostly working with. With being a little bit newer than Jessica in the industry, I've been working with a lot of first-time home buyers, which I love. I love the education process. I love being able to walk them through that because it is scary for them. And it's nice to be able to have someone like Jessica or myself who really actually cares that you're happy with the process and that you're feeling cared for the whole time.
I always told someone, I think way back in the day, you want to learn how to buy a house? You really learn so much from just buying that house.
Well,
that first one.
I gotta toot Jessica's horn for a minute. I mean, we have a client that is looking at new construction.
Yeah,
and he was afraid that having an agent might deter the builder from giving him the best possible transaction. And I got to tell you, and Jessica said, look, if that comes to be, I don't need to represent you, but that's not the case anymore, people.
No, not at all.
Right. Realtors are welcome into new construction sites. Builders are wanting other realtors to come in because you need someone on your side. You need someone to represent you. You need someone to look over that contract to make sure that through the process, especially new construction, with there's so many different avenues you can go, that someone's looking out for your best interests. And so please don't think that you have to go in and you have to deal with the builder's agent and that's it, because you should have your own representation. And someone like Jessica or Adrian, if they find out that, yes, the builder would be willing to give them a much better deal without an agent, they'll step aside because they want.
And that's not the case.
Client.
Right, and that's not the case. Checking out all the new construction builders I've seen, everyone co-op. So it's a great way. It's good representation. They've got it built in. They're okay with you bringing your agent out there. In fact, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. You can hire a real estate agent, even on a for sale by owner. You can hire an agent, maybe pay a little bit less, and get really taken care of. Get more professionals in your life. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be back with all your calls.
The Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me,
welcome back to the show. There's always two shows going on. The one at the break and then one we hit the red light on again here. Welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Get another 15 minutes or so. Yes, we are here to give you some great information, some knowledge. Knowledge gives you the confidence. We brought some great real estate agents in. Chris Day and Amber Yelkin, of course, from eXp Realty. They're here to share a lot of stuff. We always start heating up, guys, and now I want to get into some other things. But let me throw this out, and then we'll go into some urgency here. There's no doubt an article came across my desk actually during the week talking about how easy it is to get a mortgage. And is it not, right? Is this easy to get a mortgage? Yes.
Yes. I mean, if you're working with the right people and the right professionals, it's going to be a painless process. I mean, mortgages and real estate are emotional anyway. They're going to bring out those emotions, but our job is to identify and take the path of least resistance to get you into that refinance or that new home as quickly as possible.
Yeah, your employment, of course, if it's strong and reliable, now you get your income all set up, then the credit aspect of things. If you're going to be staying, if you're not looking to move out of the area, and you find yourself probably a minimum of 3 years. I think home ownership always, now there's opportunities where you can buy a house and flip it. But we think, an urgency would definitely fall into place in today's marketplace, Chris, and I know that's what we talked about. Maybe now's the time.
Yeah, it's funny because, I got a background in economics, so I always look at this stuff. And actually working in real estate has helped me see things further ahead. And one of the questions I get asked all the time, I know Amber does too, is, hey, should I sell my house now or should I wait till X? In this case, next spring. Well, hey, I always tell people, I don't know what's going to happen next spring. I don't know what's going to happen next summer. I do know what's happening right now. So if we want to talk about what your features and benefits and things that you're looking for right now, we can help you with that. Hey, by the way, next year's an election year. I don't know if do you guys see that? Like, I'm literally predicting, you want to go a year now? You're like, hey, let's get together next July. Okay, great. Well, the demand might be not there because people get skittish. They're like, I don't know what's going to happen, whatever side of the fence you're on.
Yeah, but what's the plan for that person if they're looking to get, real estate term highest and best use, right? Highest and best property, highest and best price. So if they feel that they can get highest and best right now, and they've got a place to go or they have a plan in place, why wouldn't you do it now? Waiting is uncertain. Nobody likes uncertainty. You don't know. You're never going to sell it's rare that you sell at the top of the market and buy at the bottom of the market. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So you might as well go ahead, a bird in the hand. Take what you have right now, and if you have that plan, you have somewhere to go, there's no time like the present. Sell the property. We are in the 8th year of a seller's cycle. Okay? 8th year. And as Harvey said, and we all know, at the beginning of this year, from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, it was a little bit slower. Now we're seeing houses, they're on the market, but they're not staying
using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning, welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me, the co-host, Harry Glanz, Sandra Carr.
9:45. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our last 15 minutes or so here. Keep it on 97.1. We got Tiger Baseball coming up at 6. Of course, Pat Caputo with sports right after us at 10 o'clock. Always 248-539-9797. John Colps filling in for Harry, sitting in with me. John, always great to have you here. Talk a little about mortgages and real estate and what's going on.
Get the old man out of the chair. I mean, we gotta
Get him out of there.
We got to lighten this show up a little bit.
But a quick heads up, John. Definitely, we've been refinancing, going through our list of clients and families that bought in the last year. If you bought a house in the last year or two, definitely contact your mortgage person. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding. We'd love to have you on board. Go over all these numbers. Again, don't procrastinate it too much because the market's going to change really quickly. And what's going on with any of these events across the really global events, geopolitical events, like when Iran captures a British oil tanker and things like that. Yeah, these are things that can affect the marketplace really quickly, believe it or not. Threats of war. These are things that change the bond market more so than the Fed funds meeting at the end of the month, which in my opinion, John, of course, we'll report back after it. Even if they did drop, and I don't see them doing that, but even if they did drop this Fed funds rate, the mortgage rates aren't going down.
No.
I'm going to go on. I just said it. All right, now I'm on the record. I said it. They're not going down when the Fed funds rates drop, huh?
You know, Harry's not here, and we still bring his statements. You know, they're not going down to zero. Is that what he always says, Harv? It's just So yeah, I mean, your rates are great right now. I mean, it's a great time to refinance. It's a great time to pull some cash out. It's a great time to purchase. You know, get out there, look. And and I just had a conversation yesterday, and the girl she's younger, but she knows exactly what she's talking about. She's like, I know that I'm going to buy something that's a little bit higher in value, but I wouldn't be able to sell my house right now for the value that I'm able to sell it for.
Right.
So she has an understanding. Yeah, I'm going to buy, probably on the higher end right now, but I'm also selling on the higher end, so it's a wash. And that's a great way to look at it. You can't win at both ends. You can't just sell high and buy really low. That just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So I mean, it's a great time. Get out there, get some real estate professionals like Adrian and Jessica under your belt, and let them show you the way because they do it the right way.
Yeah. Also, nothing wrong with having some fun with you guys too, because it should be fun and exciting. I always said that. I mean, you're signing your name on $200,000 or more. This better be a fun, an enjoyable experience.
I'm gonna schedule listings for all houses that are no air conditioning for Adrian.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, it was just 1 week of it, and it was fine. It was great because the client's amazing.
It's the hottest week of the year, too.
Those
I was just sweating off those extra pounds before the boat.
Your 4th of July pounds?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, continue to build home wealth. That's right. If your home value has gone up, as John and I are talking about, you got some built-in equity. Do the right thing with your equity. There's always pros and cons to using some of that equity. Use it wisely. I mean, if you're paying off credit card debts, we will go to that call, perhaps. I don't even know who it is. Can we bring him up?
I don't know.
We might have a call we can bring up, but use that credit card debt wisely. No doubt about it. Pay it off. If you have the equity, or use that equity properly, pay off that credit card debt, but don't use it as a piggy bank. Again, I'm not telling you to cut up the credit card. You need to keep your credit card lines open to establish credit and move that credit score up, but use the equity properly. Continue to build wealth. You can always benefit from a cash out refinance. But again, that's that extra reminder, John, when families are refinancing their house, there's escrow accounts that have to be set up for the new mortgage. It doesn't matter what your home appraises for. We're getting also a lot of PIWs now, the property inspection
I got
waivers.
Yesterday too. I love it.
So
I mean, Mike Tomchek would be just
going to put him out.
Staring at daggers at us right now because he's just the world-renowned appraiser. But getting these property inspection waivers without appraisals needed on the refinances, it's great. I mean, it moves things along. It saves $500 for the client, and you know what you can do for them right away instead of waiting for that appraisal to come in.
Right. Property inspection waiver is basically an opportunity for you to refinance your house and not have to pay for a new appraisal. Now, it doesn't happen on cash out transaction. I don't think it ever does. Maybe once in a while it has. It can,
but it's few and far between. But the good thing is, with the property inspection waivers, you can tell a client. Yesterday, I'm getting this client out of PMI. They know they're getting out of PMI. They're ecstatic. Right.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, and like you said, you have to set up a new escrow account if you want your taxes and insurance included. But you have ways of offsetting that, bring the money to close, get refunded back. So, there's ways to work around it. Give us a call. We'll tell you how.
Yeah, we'll show you all those numbers for sure. Hey, let's move off to a call here. We got Lamont calling in from Detroit. Good morning, Lamont. Welcome to our show. Go ahead with your question, sir.
How's it going?
Real good. What's up?
I'm calling. A guy was talking about buying my home. He came to my home with something called buyers and sellers purchase agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's talking like he actually had the money to purchase the home, but one of the lines said something about if he sign it, he give me he can sign it and give me a deposit. He can show the house and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, if you buying the house, why are you showing it before it's even done? Because he's buying it as is. So
Lamont, Lamont, are you wanting to sell this house?
Yes, I do.
And you don't have a real estate agent?
No.
Would you feel more comfortable if you hired one?
You should.
Yes.
Yes,
I think you should. Yeah, I mean, straight up, you could hire one for a small amount of commission you might pay. You can work out a deal, and they can provide you a lot of answers and stuff. Now, yeah, there's a lot of great. I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't get the for sale by owners. There's a lot of great for sale by owners transactions out there. Then there's a lot of bad ones, including my friend Matt, who's been telling me his story for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Lamont, I would probably have to call you off the air. You're more than welcome to bring me a copy of your purchase agreement to the office, fax, or email it. I'll call you if you want to send that in to us. We can help you go through it and help you understand it. If you do sell the house, you're going to take a deposit from them, and you're going to deposit that check with the title company. Do you have a title company that you know of? Do you have like any of those set up?
No.
You're not ready to sell your house.
That's just, do I use my own title company, or shall I let him use his?
No, you
need to get yourself an agent. And let the agent. The good thing about this, Lamont, is that the agent can probably get more for the house than you're probably asking right now, which would offset the commission that you're going to pay anyways. So, and it's going to just take all the stress off of you. Let an agent come in there, take a look. I mean, if they can't do anything better, like I said, Jessica and Adrian, they'll tell you that they can't do anything better and that you should stay where you're at, because that's just they're honest, good people. But at least talk to someone, because you're right. What's this guy trying to do? I don't know. You don't know. Right. Let somebody else dig into it. Maybe he's trying to buy it, fix it up, and show it right away while everything's going on. And, he's going to flip the house. Who knows? But let's find that out for you and let the professionals get in there and do it for you, because you know what? I don't tell you how to do your job. You got to make sure that you get somebody out there that can help you do what you need to do to make sure you're protected.
Yeah, and there's been a whole bunch of scams going on. That's what I'm saying, John. Like what you're mentioning, what this guy's trying to do is he watched the video last night on how to be a millionaire flipper, blah, blah, blah. He's an expert.
From YouTube.
Yeah, and all that.
He's trying to get the house without having anyone to show it and sell it before. Because he said,
so he's trying to do 2 transactions all at once.
About 3 weeks, and you can get your money. I'm saying myself, but you talked to him initially like you're the buyer and you have the money, and we're going to close in 3 weeks. But now it seems like you're trying to show the house as is before you finish it and get money on.
My opinion, he's trying to buy that thing land contract from you right now, and then turn around. So he's going to take it over, give you a deposit, start making payments to you, do a land contract with you, and then sell it in a month or 2 after he's fixed it up.
No, so he told me it'll be closed in about 3 weeks.
I mean, who knows what he's doing.
I don't know about this guy, Lamont.
Yeah.
Hey, Lamont, we'll call after the show and see if we can, we'll even invite you in. And if you want some names and numbers of real estate agents, we'll get you set up with the right folks there, and you can get that place sold the right way. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Great call, Lamont. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to, I told Matt, I said, my buddy Matt, I said, Matt, I won't drop your name. Sure enough, I'm dropping his name. But he was selling his house for sale by owner on a VA loan, and he didn't tell me for the first 2 or 3 weeks. So he wasted 3 weeks.
Yep.
Oh, sure enough, they had a real estate agent who didn't want to take a deposit. So I told him, I said, well, call up the real estate agent and ask how many purchase transactions she's been involved with where there is no EMD.
Right.
And of course, we know that answer was 0. So here we are. He walked away from them. They said there was all these things wrong with the house. They got a whole new, within a couple days, he's got a brand new buyer going FHA, closing in 30 days, inspections are done.
There you go.
He doesn't have to include his jacuzzi tub for $8,000 jacuzzi tub and some other things. So, hey, it's a win-win. You could go for sale by owner.
Absolutely.
But you can hire a real estate agent to sort of hold your hand. Well, it's a little discounted fee. But you guys would do that for somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have those conversations when we sit down initially with you as a client or a potential client. And that first first consultation phase. We talk through what that looks like. And just like you guys are saying, we truly are honest. We are 98% repeat and referral Stewart Team Real Estate Partners. It's unheard of in real estate.
Right.
We don't put our spend dollars out there to grab back in marketing on billboards. That's not the kind of company we are. You're not going to see our face on billboards. We are all about relationships, long-term relationships.
You'd be better looking on billboards than some of the other people out there.
Jess, real quick, families that do home inspections, they already got a purchase agreement. Now they want to renegotiate after the home inspection. Give me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I've, again, a conversation I have with every single one of my clients. That inspection phase is not the phase for renegotiation. We do that at the beginning. Now, I'm not pulling back walls. I'm not getting in your attic, unlike Adrian, or your crawl space or your roof. So those are big dollar items where we could find something that is damaged, repaired, that could make or break a transaction. Okay. The buyer has that opportunity, and absolutely, we go back to the seller, but at least now we have evidence. Right. We have a private inspector's report, and we are showing them, hey, A, B, and C are an issue. We need to address this. It's another conversation.
They're not deal killers. They're just renegotiations. Make it a win-win.
Well,
Absolutely.
Your
For everybody.
renegotiation has to have some validity behind it, right?
100%.
Yes.
I only represent buyers in this industry. Myself and Adrian are buyers agents. We represent buyers, and that is absolutely. It's always a conversation.
You guys are always fun to have in here. Jessica Zelke, Adrian Messier Himula from Rochester Hills, the Stewart Team Real Estate Partners. You can find them in downtown Rochester just about every day.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
You guys are always awesome to have on. All right, we got tons of sports coming up. We got Pat Caputo, sports, social commentary. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. For John Kolb, I'm Harvey Free. Call Capital Mortgage all day long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll catch you here next Saturday.